Olá, esse é mais um vídeo para o Itabira Investimentos e hoje falando direto de Amsterdã, na Holanda, com o Charles Nenner, que está aqui ao meu lado, que vai ser nosso parceiro na estratégia de investimentos aí no Brasil e aqui fora do Brasil também. O Charles tem o Charles Nenner Research Institute, que é um instituto para pesquisa financeira relativa a ciclos de mercado. Vocês que já falam comigo há algum tempo sabem que a minha abordagem é dos ciclos de mercado, sem nenhuma relação com notícia ou o que aconteceu com o governo, a economia. A gente simplesmente estuda os ciclos e o Charles, eu encontrei uma pessoa que tem essa mesma abordagem e a gente vai trabalhar daqui para frente. Eu vou mudar para inglês, vai vir os subtitles, a legenda aí embaixo, para vocês entenderem o papo. Então vamos lá. Hoje é 18 de março, estamos falando direto de Amsterdã, na Holanda. Charles.
Yes.
Hello. Thank you very much for your time. I have made a brief introduction. Can you please tell a little bit more about your work, your approach to markets in terms of the cycles?
After your introduction, I am interested myself what I'm going to say, so we'll make a start. So years ago, I found out that things don't move at random, that you can predict movements in financial markets. A movement starts at a certain time and they end at a certain time. And on top of that, you can see how high a move goes or how low a move goes. It has nothing to do with the news or the media, what they suppose is the reason for these moves. So I developed programs, computer programs that can think for themselves. You can call them neural networks that calculate on every asset that we follow what's going to happen in the future. For years, I have been with Goldman Sachs, and we invested the own money of Goldman Sachs with this system. And since 20 years, I have my own firm that provides in all kinds of assets class, like Bovespa, S&P, Real, Bitcoin, interest rates, gold, silver, entry points, long and short term when markets are going up and markets going down.
Very well. Let's take a look at some of your work, looking at the charts. So I'll pull something up here and the cycle approach that you do.
Yes.
Let me pull up a chart here on Bitcoin dollar, which is the very hot thing everywhere in the world. There we go.
There we go. So what do we see over here? We have Bitcoin and below
against
the Bitcoin,
against
the Bitcoin. And I show you here in the mouse that it says the weekly. We can make daily cycles, even hourly cycles, weekly cycling, monthly cycles. Now, this is a nice example. Something interesting is going on here. The tops of the cycle, and the cycle is red, and the Bitcoin price is black. The cycles have the exact distance between them.
In this case only. It doesn't mean that in every market this is going to happen.
Well, sometimes it happens, but I just first of all want to show that things don't happen at random. So isn't it interesting that every top is the same distance as the one before? So it's very difficult to say that there's no pattern in the trading of the Bitcoin. And you can trade it very successfully if you just get out at the top and you get in at the low again.
Very well. So what does it mean right here? It means that this bottom here,
this bottom is over here,
about April,
in the beginning of April, end of March.
End of March, it's going. The cycles are going to bottom, and we're going to have a low in Bitcoin against the dollar, and we expect an upward move until sometime here in
sometimes there that we still will publish what the date is over there.
Okay.
Now this is a weekly cycle, so this has to be combined with the daily cycles, which gives us a fine tuning. So this cycle I just want to show is how amazing it is that every top and every bottom has the same distance between each other.
Very well. So let's talk some business here for the Brazilian audience. Let's talk about the Bovespa. Let's stop sharing. This is the Bovespa.
Yes, so we can do the same thing on the Bovespa. So this looks a bit different. This is not one cycle. This is a lot of cycles together, okay. Short term and long term.
The cycles are down here on this pane, and the price of the Bovespa is on the upper
Right.
thing.
So here we see the price, and here we see what the computer produces. And if you look again, it is usually very correct, because here on the bottom in 2015, it got the low, it got this high over here, it got the low, it had this top over here, as you see.
Then COVID came.
Had the lower COVID, and then it topped again over here, and now it's just before the summer, it's showing an interesting bottom.
Which is winter in Brazil. What is that date there?
The date is what you see on the left side that projects the cursor. So the date is late July.
July 28 this year, we're supposed to have a bottom on the Bovespa.
Right, but it doesn't mean that the Bovespa cannot go up a little bit and down a little up, because if you see here on the right side, this is a weekly chart. And if you take a daily chart, you have much more up and down movements. But if you're a long-term investor, actually you should have been out at this cycle top over here, and only go in July. Now, of course, we don't know what the news is in July, so that's the question, but it has nothing to do with the news, because all what this cycle did was predict what's going to happen. And now it says I'm going up till over here, which is later in 2023. So for a year or so, the Bovespa looks good, although here you have some tops and a little low. So here you could have some correction, but longer term, it's going to be okay until late next year.
Very good. We will bring other updates on the Bovespa,
of course,
a long time, but this is just to give you an example. So the interesting thing is that you can project the lows and the highs over into the future, meaning that we might have, or very likely going to have, a low here, 28th of July, goes down to the date, and this up move with some turbulence along the way. This up move might last until late 2023. So it looks good. Let's take a look at the Brazilian real.
That's always interesting, because the big moves in the Brazilian real.
This is the weekly.
This is the weekly on the Brazilian real. And as you see here, it gave a big signal over here. And the direction is here down until, I would say, October, November. Probably something's going to happen October, November, and then the whole thing reverses.
The whole thing reverses in October, November. Well, we have elections. The first voting period it's October the 2nd, and then October the 3rd is the second round. So it means around this time, we expect the dollar to make a low and take a significant move. We're going to bottom the cycle of dollar against Brazilian real.
Yeah.
Around November, and then we can expect
a weaker real,
a stronger dollar, a stronger up move of the dollar until for a while, at least April next year.
Yes, and
April 2023.
Yes, I think we also have a monthly chart.
We do.
That shows the same thing. You see, so here we have monthly cycles, not daily cycles. And you see how nice this works. The top is over here, that was correct. The bottom over here, the top was over here, the bottom over here. This top was there. Since then, it's nothing. You had another chance to go here. And here is a major high and a major low, which again comes down into the October, November timeframe. So the markets are not going to like the real from end of October, November. Whatever's going to happen, but the financial market is not going to like the real.
We can say that we're expecting a move down around 439.
Well, ahead of 439, I have usually price targets that are confirmed and are not confirmed. We had a price target that started around 6, giving a price target of 5. We reached that. And if we have a good close below 5, then we have a confirmation. Then we could see 439.
We could see 439 until October, November.
Correct.
And then we're expecting this
the whole thing to turn around.
And have huge up moves.
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, very well. So I believe this wraps up our first introduction video. Again, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for agreeing on working with us in the Brazilian market for the Brazilian investor audience. And we'll bring more updates on Bovespa Real. We can also bring Petrobras Vale.
Yeah, we can do also some big stocks in Brazil.
We will start this service very soon. If you have assets out of Brazil, you can already look at charlesnenner.com, and there is a 1 month free trial period, right? And we will start the Brazilian service very soon with Brazilian stocks and the Bovespa and the dollar real. So thank you very much. Muito obrigado a todos e até uma próxima.